Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. It was bound to happen, and it has been happening, and you've been warned, and I've been warning you that the amount of violence, terror, murder, rape, arson, drugs that we're going to see in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years from now is going to be profound from what Joe Biden has done by allowing 9 million illegals to pour in 3 years, and many of whom are from areas like in Venezuela. Their jails have been emptied out and dumped on us, and Joe wants all of them. He loves his illegals. He will not stop his illegals. And he's going to pretend, and he is pretending right now, that he wants to do something and that he's got the all the answers now, that he's pardon my French, but his ass is on the line. Because nobody likes what's happening in this country. But now we have enraging video of 8 of Joe Biden's illegal migrants who have no business being in this country, but he wanted them to come in, so he let them in. From Venezuela and from some other countries as well, so in a separate incident I'll tell you about in a second, but beating the hell out of our cops, kicking them down on the ground and kicking them in the face with a sprint, run, football kick to the damn face. Excuse me. You don't do that to our cops if you're a citizen. These people, I can't say what I'm thinking about right now. Death penalty crossed my mind. You come to our country as a freaking illegal that Joe Biden lets you in, and you attack our cops violently like a mob, like a wicked, sick mob. It's not unbelievable. It's extremely enraging. And this is who Joe Biden has let in, and you don't even know the tenth of it. The crimes they're committing. They were telling these 8 illegals to get out of here, keep it moving. They were in Times Square, and they just decided to beat the living crap out of them because that's how they roll, and that's how they rolled in Venezuela. And Joe let them come here and do this to our freaking cops. He don't give a crap about them. He cares about the illegals. They come before everything in this country. They take our schools. They take our rec centers. The governor of Massachusetts is crying today. I love her crying because she is a sanctuary state. She loves her illegals, and she's kicking out people who are disadvantaged from the rec center today. This is in Massachusetts.
Emotional, guys, okay? Because I'm committed to this. Little kids need to be able to breathe clean air. They need to be able to access swimming pools. They need to have lifeguards there who are going to teach them how to swim. And they need to have activities. I don't know what we're going to do for a couple, 3 months. I'll call universities. I'll call other places.
The governor went on to say she is also...
So that is the governor of Massachusetts. Here are our police officers speaking out for our victimized, beaten down, mob action against our cops from vile, wicked illegals that Joe Biden let in. Here is one of the cops speaking on their behalf.
Reprehensible. Cowards. You have 8 people attacking on a lieutenant and a cop. The 4 that were arrested should be sitting in Rikers right now on bail. Should be indicted this week and taken off our streets. You want to know why our cops are getting assaulted? There's no consequences. And we must change this.
There we go. So I want to ask you about this. I want you to chime in right now. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants that Joe Biden brought in that are beating the hell out of our cops in the streets? Another one stabbed a fellow illegal migrant to death when they were dragging him off him. He said, "Let me finish the job. Joe brought me in here to do a job." I'm adding that part. "Let me finish the job. I kill people." He murdered a fellow illegal. And there was 2 illegals that helped him. They tried to they changed their clothes, went in hiding, but the cameras got them. 3 illegals, all in jail for murdering and for accessory to murder. These are all Joe's illegals, and it's just getting started. I want to hear from you right now. Chime in. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants? And do you think there are a lot more violent, criminal, illegal migrants who've come in under Joe Biden's open borders out of the 9 million plus? I sure do. And I think the percentage-wise is a lot more than anybody knows. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Sound off right now at 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants, these violent, murdering illegal migrants? And what do you think? Do you think there's a lot more, I should say, violent, criminal, illegal migrants who have come in under Joe Biden's open borders? They sure as heck are. Chime in now. What we have are eight people who, in a mob action, beat the hell out of our cops. They had charged 5 of the illegals so far. 4 of them with assault on a cop, gang assault, obstructing governmental action, disorderly conduct, release without jail. Gang. And then another illegal, 22, arrested Monday night, charged with attempted assault on a police officer and gang assault. Joe's letting the Venezuelan gangs in. Guess what else? One of the cops, who's a regular on Fox News, retired. He said that there are Venezuelan gangs roaming and pickpocket gangs all over New York City streets, pickpocketing us when we're there and everybody else. All of Joe's illegals. The eldest of this mob that have been arrested for beating the hell out of our cops. Oh, by the way, they were released on the streets 3 hours later, which would never happen in Venezuela. But under Joe Biden and his Democrat Party, they're out in 3 hours, beat the hell out of the cops, finish the job, kill them. Finish the job, kill them. Because that's what they do. Not all of them, but these ones sure do. And there's a lot more of them that sure do too. The eldest of men arrested had 2 open cases already for assault and robbery in Manhattan, having assaulted from a Nordstrom Rack employee in November. Worker had caught him attempting to swipe $130 item before he allegedly pushed, punched, and bit them. These are Joe's illegals, stealing, killing, and beating the hell out of our cops. Behold, Joe Biden's plan for America. Destroy it through illegals beating us up and taking from us. The illegal also, in a separate case, punched a loss prevention officer, according to reports, at the famous Herald Square Macy's while trying to commit a robbery with 2 other suspects. They rule the roost. We are afraid of them. They're in charge. Joe put them in charge of us. Ray and Denton, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, Chris, first thing is, I love you on 93.3.
Me too.
Totally
Thank you.
different.
It does sound great. I sound different, huh?
Yeah, you do. How many presets do I need to use?
I would do, my first one would be 93.3. My second one is 820 WBAP. My third one is 95.5 HD2.
I don't have the HD.
You might. If your radio's,
No,
I got a 2014 and I can get it.
I got a 2000.
Okay, you don't have it.
The other thing is, I want to hear you do your imitation of Mayorkas choking on his words.
Oh, you mean you want to hear Alejandro Mayorkas and his pedo voice? I am. The border is secure. Your children are secure. Let them come to my house and sit on my lap.
Yeah. Hey, these cronies that they keep allowing in, they need to do their time in our prisons and then put on a military transport and sent directly back to the country they came from.
That's exactly right. Dump them. Dump these bleepity bleeps back to where they belong. Not here. Joe Biden, you did this to our cops. You did this to the workers at Macy's and another department, Nordstrom Rack. You did this to all of us. And this is just the beginning. Jason Jones, our retired Texas DPS captain in charge of border operations, in counterterrorism and counterintelligence, now works for Newsmax as a border correspondent. He said, you don't even know the half of it. It is, in 5, 10, 15 years, it's generational. We're going to be being beaten, raped, killed, robbed, and everything because of what Joe's done.
Hey, if we're lucky and we can get Trump back in office. You heard what he said.
He's going to deport every one of them. Top priority, and he will. No one else will. I appreciate
That's
you, Ray.
right.
Got to roll. We got 3 lines open. I want to hear from you right now. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. We're going to talk to Mark in Dallas right out of the box next. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants? And do you think there's a lot more violent, criminal, illegal migrants who've come in under Biden's open borders? I sure do. That's next on the Chris Crock Show. Plus, you're going to hear what's going on in Chicago. A Democrat Chicago neighborhood activist is speaking out, calling it an invasion, and will tell the horrors of his neighborhood and what they're going through in Chicago. All that's coming up next. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Why is it okay that they are left out on bail?
I'm not satisfied with that at all. These are law enforcement officers who should never, under any circumstances, be subjected to physical assault.
Those individuals be deported?
I think that's absolutely something that should be looked at. I mean, if someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York, and they're not, they've not processed, they're not here legally, definitely worth checking into.
Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, worth checking into. Jail them, let our prisoners eat them alive, I pray to God, and then for a long time in jail, and then deport them with prejudice, Texan by birth, one of my most favorite followers, and vice versa, I follow him, is he tweets out, wait till the welfare runs out, wait till the housing accommodations run out, and wait till their food runs out. They are coming to our houses in the suburbs. He is dang right, but they're also doing that already, knocking on doors in San Antonio, begging, knocking on doors in New York and begging. And I love it because you and me knocking door to door for Trump would be great, and I would support that 110%. But what's more effective is the illegal that they voted to bring into this country through Joe Biden and their Democrat friends, going to their house, scaring the hell out of them, and begging for food and money and clothes. Go for it, illegals. Si se puede. Go bother the Democrats who brought you here. You're a better lobbyist than Trump or any one of us can possibly be. And I want that commercial, that Trump commercial, to show the illegals beating the hell out of our cops and saying, this is what Joe Biden is. This is what Joe Biden did to us. That's what I want. You'll hear about what's going on in Chicago in a second from one of the activists. It's worse. Well, it's just as bad there is what I mean to say. But first, let's go to, we got the lines wide open for you. 4 lines open at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants who are murdering and then beating the hell out of our cops in the streets as of right now that we're hearing about and seeing in the news? And do you think, and assaulting, beating, and stealing from our department stores, and do you think there's a lot more violent, criminal, illegal migrants who've come in under Biden's open borders that are going to be attacking us over the next 5, 10, 20 years? I sure do. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Mark in Dallas, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3 with the Chris Crock Show. Hello.
Hey, hello. Yeah, absolutely. These cartels, man, they don't play by rules. They're using all these innocent people to get in and do their crime, and even just criminals, like you said, the way they live over there is totally different than we do here. They should not be here. And I've got an idea too. I was telling your guy, what if Trump gets elected? What about a tax incentive? Trump comes out and says, "Hey, look, anybody you turn in, you get $300 back on your tax return."
I would 100% support that. 100% support that.
Businesses.
Yeah.
If you have a local business and you report, I'm seeing these guys every day. You report them, you get an incentive to your business.
If they get bagged and tagged. If.
Yeah.
And the other thing is this. I think we need to be careful to hyper-focus on one thing. Joe's illegals. Because if you want to win this, we don't want to waste our time getting into the thick of things with illegals that have been here for 5, 10 years. Let's focus on the 9 million first and get them out of here because they have no legitimate claim. And Trump can take them, remove them, and dump them in Mexico. Dump them in Mexico and let that swill sit on that side of the border. and say, remain in Mexico is effective immediately. We're getting you and you're going. And if you know somebody who has come in the last 3 years or at the time Trump takes office, 4 years, let us know. Yeah, and we'll check it out.
Exactly. I agree. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. But, of course, it's got to be where it's confirmed. Yeah, it's just like you turn somebody in for Crime Stoppers. You don't just give the award. You got to tag them and bag them first. But, yes, for the illegals that have come here in 3-4 years, by the time Joe's out of office, yes. Yes. Incentivize it. Get them out of here. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. What would you like to see happen to these illegal migrants that are beating the heck out of our cops, murdering fellow illegals, covering it up with them and for them, being accessory to murder? And do you think there are a lot more violent, criminal, illegal migrants who've come in under Biden's open borders that we haven't seen and heard about yet? They sure are. Now, here is Chicago. This is a Democrat who's running for state rep in a African-American area. He's a neighborhood activist, a real one, not like Barack Hussein Obama, the fake one. Let's go to this state rep candidate right here.
What's the big problem in Chicago right now with the migrant crisis?
The mayor allowed the illegal migrants to come into our city to invade Chicago. Two, that schools, park districts that was closed and allowed the migrants to be in there, repurposed. These apartments, middle-class families was living there, and they're building them now for migrants.
Where is the money coming from to pay for all of this?
Well, the money is coming from the hard-earned taxpayers, taxpayers' dollars that don't have the luxury now to go to the park in their community because migrants are there.
That is LJ, Lawrence Jones from Fox News, interviewing this candidate and activist in Chicago. He's exactly right. The police stations in Chicago have the illegals sleeping all over them, all around them, outside. They sleep in buses at night because it's cold there. They got tents up, and they got people all over they got milk crates in the 16th District headquarters where you walk on milk crates to get over the illegals. They're filling up the whole area. There's a tiny little path to get to the sergeant, sergeant that's in charge, the staff sergeant, or the duty sergeant, whatever he's called. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. And then coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, we'll take more of your calls at 800-288-WBAP. But also, you heard that African-American Democrat in Chicago say the word invasion and illegal migrants. Well, those are the same languages being used in a Texas Tribune article today, trying to portray you and me and the convoy that's coming through as J6ers, racists, white supremacists, Trumpers, and that we are violent and a standoff is happening. They're trying to set up their next J6 with the standoff, with the caravan coming through. I'm going to tell you all about that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. We'll talk about that. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Those are illegals getting caught shoplifting and kicked out of a store and freaking out. Here are illegals at Atlanta Airport today. This came out from a state rep from Northeast Georgia at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Found a room with illegals all over and volunteer civilians who refused to allow him to take pictures to go in the room because it's not his country. And it's not his airport. Even if he's a state rep, he has, screw you, these illegals are going everywhere, and they're doing everything for free. Here's that scenario in Atlanta today.
How's it going, man? You guys documented, or
Yeah.
transporting anybody anywhere?
Yeah, we're all getting in place to where they need to be.
Okay, where they need to be?
All over the place.
Where are they coming from?
As in, like, country of origin, stuff like that. Also all over the place.
Yeah. You know when they come into the U.S.? class.
Why, can I ask you why you asking these questions?
Yeah. I'm a senator from Northwest Georgia.
Yeah.
And not a big fan of human trafficking. Just want to make sure everything's above board here.
Yeah, so these are just recently documented travelers getting released from ICE, getting to where they need to be.
I'll play the rest of you coming up next because I want to jump into what we're going to discuss here. I'm looking at a picture. I'm going to show our listeners who are watching on Facebook Live at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show. You can see a picture from the New York Post of one of Joe Biden's illegals on his way out of jail after being freed after 3 hours, flipping everybody off. Behold, your country being taken over and invaded by Joe Biden's illegal migrant murderers, rapists, felons, beating down our cops, gang action, everything. Well, look what this man brought in here. People that hate us. In the meantime, Texas standoff. This is from the Texas Tribune. Texas standoff with the feds at Eagle Pass igniting calls for secession and fears of violence. See? It's us. It's not them. It's us. We're the bad guys. I'll read you some highlights quickly before we take your call in a moment. This one man who is part of the secession leadership thing was seceding to Texas from the Union. He felt encouraged last week. This is how they start the whole article out. As fears of a new civil war trended online and Abbott was in his standoff. Tucker Carlson, they cite. Republicans and white evangelical Protestants, they cite, like me. A term at the core of Eagle Pass is a dispute, is a term a recent violent history, invasion. Now, you heard the black Democrat who's running for state house and is an activist say in Chicago it's an invasion. But no. White supremacist Trumper, people who love God. We are the bad guy. Fringe theory they're talking about. This is all bait to get us crazed, overreacting, and get us to be violent so they can have new video and say, look, those are the Trumpers, the J6ers, everything. It's part 2. They want J6 part 2. They're in the trucker caravan. They're going to try to, they're infiltrating that. So it's all about making us look bad. I want to hear from you right now, though, before I get into the rest of the story. Do you really think that there's a lot of Texans right now calling for secession and real fears of violence? Or is it just wishful thinking from liberals like the Texas Tribune? That's all they are. And do you think we should just keep doing Operation Lone Star, even if a lot of illegal migrant cases are thrown out? Ed Lavandetta from CNN was talking about that today. A lot of them are thrown out when we arrest him for trespass. But do you think we should still keep doing Operation Lone Star, even if a lot of illegal migrants cases are thrown out and the border's wide open when you get past the sections, like in Eagle Pass, that we have stuff up? So they're saying, oh, it's useless because you just go beyond where the sections are and you can come in. And they arrest you, and a lot of them just get dismissed immediately. I don't care. Anything we can do, everything we can do, we should do. So what do you think on that? Do you think there's really a lot of Texans calling for secession and real fears of violence, or are they trying to whip us up and make us J6ers part 2? And do you think we should keep doing Operation Lone Star, even if people are getting released and they can walk around where the res ribbon isn't coming? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in right now, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. A term with recent violent history, invasion, the Texas Tribune says today. Once fringe theory is now a real option, they're basically saying. A great replacement theory is mentioned, a foundation and ideology of white supremacists. Hey! If you disagree with them, you're a white supremacist, Trumper, evangelical, Bible thumper. They talk about LGBTQ+, interracial marriage. See, they're trying to make us look like we are what they try to say we are, which we're not. El Paso Walmart, they bring that horrific past incident of a racist gunning down Hispanics up as if that has anything to do with the border. These people are sick, aren't they? They're sick. They also talk about Trump's attempt to overturn the 2020 election. What is this? What are they talking about? Is that you? Is that the people like you and me who are against this invasion?
What the hell are you thinking?
800-288-WBAP. Lines wide open for you. Chime in right now. 800-288-9227. Do you really think there's a lot of Texans calling for secession right now and real fears of violence, or is it wishful thinking from liberals trying to scare us, suppress us, and make us afraid? And, by the way, with the trucker caravan, the information is on my website, my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrock. But the caravan, the Freedom Caravan, Save Our Country caravan that's coming through on the 3rd of February, it's driving through right now, and this is a live feed. You can see it on my Twitter feed as well. Follow me on Twitter, at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrock. But they're trying to make us look like J6ers, replacement theory people. And this is replacement theory. That is absolutely what this is. More illegal, more foreigners born in this country last year than we had our own kids in our own country last year. If that isn't replacement theory, I don't know what is. But they're trying to portray us as J6ers once again with this. Now, it's all a lie. And you know it, and I know it. Remember this. Joe Biden is a man who's not in control. I came up with that phrase last night with you when we talked about Joe saying, "That's all I've done. I've done everything I can at the border. Give me more power. Give me the power to patrol. Give me the power for judges," he said, which is a lie, and we all know it. Tammy in Fort Worth, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Hey, Tammy.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, I'm calling from Fort Worth. I am and have been born and bred a Democrat. I live in Texas. I've been here I love this great state. Thank you, Abbott, for everything that you're doing.
Amen.
What I'm confused about is that the resources that my family can't have, because there is no shelter, there is no room, there is no housing, there is no assistance of any sort. We have to get in line. We born and bred Team America, but we have to get in line just to be able to get what we need. That is not fair.
Do you see the illegals waiting in line to get food, clothes, health care?
I can't say that they should be getting in line or not. Only thing I can say is, why do we have it open? Do we need to put like a transport stop right there and just, go ahead and do what? Just take them to the next city or something? What's up with that? We wasting money and time, and we taking away from the people that work hard and pay taxes.
Tammy, are you still a Democrat right now? Tammy, are you still a Democrat?
Crime because they have no repercussion.
Say that last part again.
It's bringing crime because they don't get no repercussion.
You're right. Now listen, are you still a Democrat? Are you still a Democrat, and will you be voting for Joe Biden in November?
I can't tell you what party I'm for at this point in time. I was Democrat, but I'm telling you right now, I appreciate what Governor Abbott is doing, and I stand behind him 110%.
Would you see yourself voting for Trump over Biden, or would you just not vote this November? And do you really believe, Joe, that it's not his fault that this invasion's happened for 3 years straight?
I'm going to answer the question this way. Trump now has the black man experience. Being that he was someone in power, it was recognized. Just think about all the ones that have no power and went through what he went through with the justice system.
I said that, and people laughed at me. I said in Atlanta, particularly with the trial there with Fani Willis, she and the DA in New York that are prosecuting him, they both went to the White House and colluded with the White House lawyers. Have you ever heard of a local prosecutor going to the White House to talk about a local case?
All I can tell you is, from what my experience and what I'm seeing and what my previous president has went through, we need to take a look at what's going on within our justice system.
So you're talking about black men being mistreated in the justice system. Is that something you've seen personally?
I've seen personally, yes.
All right, so last but not least...
There needs to be a reform. There needs to be a reform. We need more bills that's on the House that's going to do... at some point in time, we're going to need to have more people at the border.
So last question, because I got to let you go. Trump, Biden, or no one this November?
Oh, no. I will be voting. Let's see who's going to win. Hopefully my vote will count.
Which one are you looking at right now?
That I won't share.
Okay, fair enough, Tammy. God bless you and thank you. You are a great caller. I look forward to the next one. You got a fire in your belly, and I love that. We need that in this country. God bless you. Take care, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. Charles and Denton, you'll be coming up next. I'm going to tell you about a Bloomberg poll. Is Biden losing ground on Trump with illegals? You got to hear this poll next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
A company of volunteers.
Yeah.
Team Liberty.
Yeah.
Is that a non-government organization? What is that?
Yeah.
So you received. How'd you get the job?
I'm a volunteer. I mean, there's people that they get dropped off here from ICE detention with no help, so we just,
Sounds good, man. Care if we, care if I come in? Just take a little closer look.
I mean, you can stand right there. I don't know you very well either. So
Yeah, just let me get a video if you don't mind.
Actually, you cannot get a video.
No.
You cannot get a video.
No, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed. You're done.
Okay.
You're done? He's a state rep in Georgia at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. He came upon a secret room holding tons of illegals in it. Those are volunteer civilians. You can't take video of Joe's illegals. You can't produce proof. You can't ask about them. You can't come in the room with them. You're not allowed to speak to them. And you certainly can't take pictures. Where in God's name are we? This is not America. This is Joe Biden's America. We can't go into our own airports and take video. Those illegals, while we're trying to get video of them, can easily get video of us, and that's allowed. That's allowed. But we can't get video of them. Let them beat the hell out of our New York City cops in the streets like they did over the weekend. Let them murder their fellow illegals like they did over the weekend. And let them beat the hell out of our clerks at Macy's and I forget the other store and shoplift from them. They own us. We just bow to them. Joe can't do anything about it. It's our fault. We got to give him the bill that he wants so we can make more illegals come in. It's just disgusting. And there's some good news. Bloomberg poll, Biden losing ground on Trump with illegal immigration. The percentage of voters from Axios today who said immigration is the single most important issue in November, up 6 in 7 of the swing states. It went up in November in 6 of the 7 swing states, according to Bloomberg News Morning Consult survey. 61% of the voters say Biden's at least somewhat responsible for the wave of illegal migration. Voters say in those states, those 7 swing states, they trust Trump over Biden 52-30 by 22-point margin. It's up 5 points since December. In Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, they're the 7 states featured in this poll. They're going to make or break the president. Asked how they would vote if the election were held one-on-one matchup today between Biden and Trump, Trump wins by 6 in those 7 states. That's what matters. It resembles other polls showing Biden lagging Trump in these key states. That's the election right there. The economy remained the most important issue of every state, but 51% said they trust Trump to manage the economy. That is a 18-point advantage Trump in the economy. It's clear our president has arrived, and he's going to take this old, frail man who he's destroying our country, and throw him to the wayside and fix the mistakes he made, the terrible mistakes. Only 29% of voters in the U.S. say the economy, in those swing states, say the economy is going in the right direction. We all know the truth. The emperor has no clothes, and he's destroying our country. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you really think there's a lot of Texans calling for a secession right now, as the Texas Tribune tried to say today, and that there's fears of real violence, or is it just wishful thinking from liberals to try to get us to act like we're J6ers and everything like that? And do you think we should keep doing Operation Lone Star, even if, as CNN mocked us for today, they can go around where our barricades are and some of them getting arrested get released right away? I don't care. Do it. Do every single thing we have. Everything. Keep it up. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in now. 800-288-9227. Let's go to Jim in Iowa. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Yeah, what I do is take all the legal aliens, put them on reservations like we did the Indians, make them work. If they don't work, they don't eat. And then if you have to have a really, though, somebody's starving, you got to give them something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon, though, if these guys, it'd get back to them and they'd quit coming up here.
Well, listen, if they're starving, say we'll feed you on the way out. We'll feed you. You want to come over here, get on the bus to leave or the plane? We'll give you a king's meal. And we'll give you a couple $100 to get you back on your feet when you get there. Jim, I appreciate your call from Iowa. Charles in Denton, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
How you doing, Chris? Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling, my brother.
Yeah, I just want to talk about this Mayorkas impeachment.
We're going to get into that next, but you can go ahead. Jump in. Go ahead.
I don't think impeachment goes far enough. I think that what happened to trying people for treason? Because that's really what needs to happen here with these Democrats.
How is he treasonous? How is he treasonous? I'm not saying he's not. I'm just asking you, how is he treasonous? In what ways?
Because it's an overt act against the Constitution. The way I define it, all you need is two witnesses. I'm one, you're the second one. It's treason. That's good enough for me.
He is destroying our country. He's lying to us, saying he's the border is secure in his pedo voice. Yeah,
that's the overt act right there.
I agree, my friend. I got to roll, Charles, but I want to thank you very much for your call.
Have a nice day.
You too, brother. Look forward to your next one. Line's wide open for you. We're going to get into the impeachment thing. Bloomberg poll. We talked about that, but I also want to talk about impeaching Mayorkas, if it's the right thing to do, and so much more coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.